Kevin De Bruyne, who is man of the match. Now, gents, today we saw him play a little bit higher upfield. Not as high as versus Arsenal, but where do you think his best position is? What role?
I think you give him the freedom of the park. He's that good, and you build your team around him. You know, we touched on before the game that it's very difficult to think of a midfielder that plays in the same style as Kevin De Bruyne all over Europe. You know, the effect he has on the opposition as in being a threat from deep in midfield. You know, if you stand off of him, he's got dynamite in both feet that he can score from distance. Unbelievable passing range, and especially in the final third, as you see with the assist for Jesus. And you play him anywhere on the park, he's going to affect it. But it's interesting when he was just talking about the position that he picked up in the team and how further forward was it. And he related that to defensively. So what he was talking about was the high press and stopping the opposition getting out. And I think the question was more about how you affected it in the attacking prowess. So a remarkable player, you know.
Did you have someone like that in your time at Chelsea, a player
Well, he
like
played
him?
for Chelsea, but I think Chelsea signed him a little bit too early, a bit premature. Certainly when he was at Chelsea, you never saw
during your 50%. Time, though.
In my time, did we have a player like that? The only person I can think of that used to affect games that far forward for Chelsea in my team that I played in was Gus Poyet. A similar type of style, attacking midfielder that used to come from deep. But he used to land on the end of things, and he was a brilliant finisher, great in the air, and could finish in the box a little bit like Frank Lampard-esque. But
how do you compare both of them then?
Oh no, I think De Bruyne's world class. He is world class, and obviously Gus Poyet was a top international and a very good player as well. But I think De Bruyne's on a different level.
Different level altogether. Did you see the sort of glimpses of the power that Kevin De Bruyne has when he first stepped into Man City, Michael?
When he first came? No, I didn't. He's a great player, but what he's gone on to do is just absolutely sensational. He just seems to get better and better, and he's had his injuries, and you always question players when they've been injured, are they going to come back the same player? I went through it in my career. I found it very hard to get back to the quality of football I was playing before my injuries. Kevin De Bruyne just seems to come back even stronger and fitter and even better than what he has been in the past.
Yeah, I think, you know, as Frank said, I think you can play him anywhere on the pitch. You know, he could do a good job as a fullback, to be honest with you, because he understands the game, he knows the game, he could. But where's his best position? Because of his ability to finish, because of his ability to deliver quality for assists, he has to play as much in the top third of the park as possible, in my opinion. And that's where he played most of the game today. And not only because of those assists and everything, as he referred to in the interview, the further up he plays, the further up the park he believes he can win the ball back when the opposition have it. So you win it back higher up the park, and of course you're closer to their goal to either score or set somebody up.
He's actually a manager's dream as well, because he's obviously taken on the understanding of his roles and his responsibilities. Like we're saying, he's had a marvellous game with the ball, but straight away he's talking about his defensive duties from that front third. So when you've got somebody that can take on that information and go out and perform and do it, I thought it was a masterclass without the ball from Man City in their game today. That's just brilliant, because it's half the battle to get your players to deliver your message.
I think he is a great learner, because like you said, when he was at Chelsea, it was just a bit premature. So he's gone out, he's gone to Germany, got his experience, and he came back to England a completely different man. Yeah,
and I think a lot of that was his maturation. I just think, you know, he wasn't physically ready for the Premier League at the time. So he could well have had the ability that he still possesses now, but he wasn't able to express that because I think the game was a little bit too fast for him, a little bit too physical, so he couldn't really affect games as much. And you know, I think, and I'm sure, you know, on hindsight, Chelsea would have wished they'd had a bit more patience with him and waited a little bit for him to mature as a player.
But the game is littered with players like that. You know, Mo Salah was at Chelsea, wasn't he?
Same thing.
And you know, they let him go, for example. You know, the whole, you know, making decisions is the most difficult aspect of the game quite often. And you never know when a player's going to burst through. You know, Jamie Vardy's playing for Leicester City. It wasn't that many years ago. He's playing non-league football.
Exactly.
You know? So how did that transition happen? You know, somebody must have missed him when he was a younger player.
Yeah.
And you mature at different times.
Yeah,
You
as well.
develop at
Yeah,
different
exactly.
times.
Now, since you brought up Mo Salah, let me give you this question. Is Kevin De Bruyne the best player in the Premier League right now versus... Now, I know they play in different positions. You have the names like Van Dijk, who was Player of the Year last season. Mo Salah, that's really on form right now. Kevin De Bruyne, on form.
I'll
Who's
tell
the
you
best
how
player?
the way I would judge it is, at the moment, if Liverpool lost Mo Salah, I think he's replaceable because of the way they're playing and the options they've got. If Man City lose Kevin De Bruyne, I can't see anybody that can play in a similar sort of vein to him.
Although, having said that, they lost De Bruyne last season for a number of periods.
Yeah.
And they went on and they won the league.
Yeah, I
didn't
think they were stronger.
So,
I think they were stronger all round last season, as in strength in depth in their team. I think they're struggling for that little bit of strength in depth this season. So I would edge towards De Bruyne, in my opinion, because the form is in. Yes, Salah's in great form as well, but for me, in Man City side, he's just irreplaceable at the moment.